Last year we had 81 people. We did the most of all the sites in the state, so it was a lot of fun, and it's encouraging for the kids that we get the turnout like that. Major surgery.
Unfortunately, he was right next to where it happened, and he saw the whole thing. He saw the bodies and the injuries and everything, and it just missed him, he said.
20-year-old Derek Gagne is a 1998 graduate of Denfeld High School in Duluth. He joined the Navy last year and has only been on board the USS Cole since last August. His mom says he was excited to see the world, sending her postcards from abroad. But with the bombing, his first tour is turning out to be a tough one. Some of his friends were killed, and conditions on the USS Cole are still rough.
And they all had to sleep up on deck last night, he told me.
To the relief of his parents and his wife from Texas, Derek was not injured, but they say they share the pain of others who did lose loved ones.
And my heart just goes out for the rest of the families that aren't as fortunate as us. I'm really happy for Derek and for us, but I'm still mourning his shipmates and his friends. And that's like his family. And he's taken it pretty hard. Unfortunately, he was right next to where it happened, and he saw the whole thing. He saw the bodies and the injuries and everything, and it just missed him, he said.
20-year-old Derek Gagne is a 1998 graduate of Denfeld High School in Duluth. He joined the Navy last year and has only been on board the USS Cole since last August. His mom says he was excited to see the world, sending her postcards from abroad. But with the bombing, his first tour is turning out to be a tough one. Some of his friends were killed, and conditions on the USS Cole are still rough.
And they all had to sleep up on deck last night, he told me.
To the relief of his parents and his wife from Texas, Derek was not injured, but they say they share the pain of others who did lose loved ones.
And my heart just goes out for the rest of the families that aren't as fortunate as us. I'm really happy for Derek and for us, but I'm still mourning his shipmates and his friends. And that's like his family. And he's taken it pretty hard.
For now, Derek's family can only be thankful and anxiously await his safe return. In Duluth, Jana Katsuyama, News 6.
We as medical people or we as rescue persons need to know how to react to situations like this. So it is a drill to hopefully train us better in case something actually did happen.
I'm going to say a little bit more about what we're doing here.
Yeah!
For 2 miles, the water in Beaver River is still a murky, unnatural green spilling into Lake Superior. Taconite tailings have contaminated the water. North Shore Mining says a pipeline carrying the waste from their plant ruptured, spewing out 14,000 tons of waste onto land and into the river. The company sent crews out to keep more from entering the water.
They are in the process of actually putting barricades in place, silt fences in those areas above the river because a significant amount of this material was deposited and is still on the hillside above the river.
Meanwhile, environmental experts are taking careful steps. Although human health risks seem low, the Pollution Control Agency and the DNR are monitoring the water quality closely. As for wildlife, the DNR says river oxygen levels are good and fish haven't been impacted so far. But the tailings are settling everywhere, on plants and rocks and in the river, a foot deep in some spots, enough to prevent fish from spawning.
I'm going to rely on DNR to tell us what is best for the river. We don't want to end up screwing up the river more than by trying to fix the problem.
But even with some cleanup, the Beaver River may never be the same.
It's likely that there's going to be some amount of material deposited there for years in some of the bends and some of the pools that aren't going to be reachable by anyone to go in there and pull it out.
In Beaver Bay, Jana Katsuyama, News 6.
We were organized in 1969 to get
our main role in this is try to assess the damage that's been caused. So I'm just poking around today to see if I can find any evidence that a fish kill occurred. Or find some live fish to show that at least there are some live fish here.
He's been telling me about it for about 2 months now, so I figured. Got here at 8, was number 94, barely made it. But got a little wet, it's all right.
You know, we don't know what we're going to get until they come in the back door, so just have people checking with us. And wish we would have had 3,000 or 4,000 a day to try to take care of everybody, but Sony just can't make them fast enough.
Actually, here, I got your CD too. Hold that for a second. All of our other accessories, if you want an extra controller for it.
I'm not good consumer. Being a good consumer.
Have most of the stores
standing request.
Right.
Like that,
Yeah.
send them, or if they just went.
Yeah, and I don't know how the electronic.
And those women.
Are you driving now?
What we're hoping to encourage people to do is to make that phone call if they hear or see someone being hurt, so that the police can be involved, so that women will get to know what what their options are.
You see the trails through the tall grass, and you see all the prints, and you just see everything. It's like, oh my God, I can hardly wait.
For Minnesota deer hunters, the wait is almost over.
We're ready. We're more than ready. Very excited.
We're just 1 week away from next Saturday's Firearms Deer Season opener, and the woods are already coming to life. From clearing trails to hanging the last camouflaging branch on that opening day stand, hunters are rushing to get ready. For sporting goods stores, the next week will mean mass chaos. Hunters flocking in dozens at a time for things like last-minute gun repairs, blaze orange clothing, with that ever-important hunting license.
You won't be able to walk through this part of the store. We'll work from 8 in the morning till 9 at night, and there'll be guys coming in Friday night buying new guns and putting scopes on them, the night before.
To add to the chaos, DNR officials say the herd is larger than it's been in almost a decade, offering hunters more opportunity to bag a deer.
Yeah, they gave out a lot of doe permits. I'm excited. I got one. That's all I saw last year, 22 does and no bucks. So I think there is. It's typical northern Minnesota hunting fever.
Whether you're out to bag that trophy of a lifetime or just enjoy a relaxing day in the stand, rest assured the wait is almost over.
Happy hunting!
Near Grand Rapids, Craig Zleeman, News 6.
And then after getting one, then we don't have to worry about getting up at the crack.
The sight of cars speeding by has Wisconsin officials this year. The sight of cars speeding by has Wisconsin officials worried. This year, they say traffic deaths are up dramatically, with nearly 700 people killed so far this year.
Wisconsin has a transportation safety crisis. Traffic crashes are on pace to claim more than 800 lives this year, more than any year since the 1980s.
They're so concerned, they've launched a statewide safety campaign called Give Death a Holiday. City officers and the county sheriff's department will help the state crack down on traffic laws with more aerial patrolling and tougher enforcement. But But officers also hope that citizens will do their part.
These are lives. These are someone's children. This is a man who's not going to work today. It's a mother who's not coming home from work. So there's a real personal connection with these.
The Department of Transportation says one reason for the fatalities is speeding. Nearly 1/3 of the traffic deaths were caused by people going over the speed limit.
State troopers estimate 70% of all drivers on the highway are speeding. Alcohol use and young, inexperienced drivers under 20 are also causing the traffic fatalities. And not using a seatbelt has caused 65% of the traffic deaths so far this year. Wisconsin officials hope people will make an effort to drive more safely, follow traffic laws, and help keep the numbers of deaths from climbing to record highs. In Superior, Jana Katsuyama, News 6.
We still build a wooden support structure on the inside to take the weight of the snow and everything else, and then put the film over the top and then custom shrink it to the individual boat.
It sat out here in the open for almost 70 years before we got our hands on it, and we just want to make sure that this thing is preserved. And when I'm 80 years old, I don't want to look back at it as a pile of dust.
In the manual pull stations, two of them were pulled and neither one of them operated the system. So my crew is going to go over there and trying to determine why that occurred.
Right now they're helping us with emergency assistance. If we can find a place, they'll pay for our first month so we have something really to fall back on, get us on our feet. For food stamps, so we can have food, and medical, in case we need medical.
Monday evening, fire broke out at the old Solom Hotel in downtown Cloquet. Firefighters had to rescue several of the residents that lived in the building with ladders. No one was injured in the fire, and now the investigation has shifted to what caused the blaze. Authorities have determined the fire began in a laundry room in the area of a couch.
There is a couch that was burned. Was it a cigarette that started the fire, or was it an arson? We don't know. There was just nothing in the area that would have normally caused a fire. So for that reason, it's suspicious in nature. For that reason, it's a possible arson.
Firefighters had used a device called a sniffer, which found the presence of petroleum near the area of the couch, and that's where the original claim of arson came. But Detective Laminin says the couch had foam rubber cushions, and that may have caused a false reading on the sniffer. Now samples of the couch, woodwork, and flooring near the couch are being sent to the Bureau of Criminal Apprehension for testing.
It will then be analyzed to see if there's the presence of any accelerants.
Results of those tests could take anywhere from 10 days to 6 weeks to confirm. But what about the fire alarm system not working? Another reason to suspect arson. Turns out there was a previous fire call at the building about 3 months ago.
The alarms were working at that time. Whether they were shut off then and they forgot to turn them back on, we don't know. We have no idea how long these alarms would have been off. The owner does recall shutting them off the last time, but does not recall if he turned them back on or not. So it's possible there haven't been any alarms there for 3 months.
And as for cut or capped wires in the alarm system, detectives say that could be wiring work done by previous owners. Until more evidence is gathered, investigators will continue to interview residents and witnesses. However, if arson is found to be the cause, and if a suspect is arrested, police will push to add multiple counts of attempted murder to the list of charges. In Cloquet, Maureen Tallarico, News 6. The beauty of Caribou Lake draws many people to retire here, folks like Bev and Rich Subzak. And on Sunday afternoon, their daughter Patty and her fiance Eric were enjoying a quiet day on the lake with their 2 dogs.
I just had a feeling I should check on the dogs, and I looked out the window and I saw about an 8-foot diameter hole in the ice and the 2 dogs treading water in the lake.
The couple's 2 prized greyhounds, Cleo and Angel, rescued from dog tracks, were drowning.
We looked out there and the dogs were starting to go under, and I couldn't let them go. I mean, I love these dogs. They're my life.
Patty and Eric threw on life jackets and went to the lake. First, they tried to move a boat on the lake. It was too heavy. As they reached the hole, Patty fell through the ice.
I could feel the ice, breaking, but all I kept thinking was the dogs. I have to get these dogs out, and that they were going to die if I didn't get them out now.
But then Eric fell through the ice too. Patty's mom, realizing her daughter and future son-in-law were in serious trouble, called 911 and prepared for the worst.
I went and grabbed blankets off the beds so I could have them ready for him.
Eventually, Eric managed to get 1 dog out. Then he and the dog fell back in again. Finally, he was able to pull himself and the 2 dogs out. Then Patty got out of the water just as rescuers arrived to treat them all for exposure. It's an experience the family will never forget.
We're both smart enough to know, don't go out on the ice. It's a really stupid thing to do. And anybody that's watching this should know, don't do that. Just don't do that. But we just couldn't watch the dogs drown. I just could not do it.
The ordeal has brought this close-knit family even closer together. As they take the dogs to the vet to get checked out, the enormity of the risk they took is evident in their still numb hands and feet. This Thanksgiving, the family has a lot to be thankful for.
But I've always been one that's praised God and thanking Him for being for letting me and Rich have such a loving family and being so good to us.
I'm glad we're here.
On Caribou Lake, Maureen Tellerico, News 6.
Meatballs? You want some meatballs? Fill her up. You got it. Fill it up.
It was a day of feasting for more than 2,000 Northlanders who enjoyed a free Thanksgiving dinner at the College of St. Scholastica.
We started off at 11 o'clock and we're just packed, and it's 2:30 now and we're still pretty busy.
In just 6 hours, volunteers served more than 2,000 pounds of turkey, 800 pounds of mashed potatoes, and 75 gallons of thick and tasty gravy.
There's plenty of it. Ranch of that.
Excellent. Everything's fantastic.
They even offered takeout.
We need one for my mother, one for me, and one for my friend Astrid. So we need a total of 3.
After dinner, younger guests were treated to free toys from none other than Mrs. Claus herself and complimentary passes to the Great Lakes Aquarium.
When they weren't at the deck this year, we thought, well, we got to do something because they're not going to be our neighbors this year. So we came up to Scholastica and giving out tickets that are good to the 15th.
After all the gifts and good food, it seemed that the things guests and volunteers were most thankful for this year were the friendships and the memories.
The energy is so great. I mean, everybody's eating and people are talking to people that they've never seen before. They'll always remember this. Thanksgiving.
In Duluth, Craig Zleeman, News 6.
And the deed alone kind of just fell by the wayside there a little bit because we figured that to keep things going, we were paying everything else.
Staff at DETA have demanded repayment, but some city councilors want DETA's board to be lenient.
The survival of the North Shore is also very important for the livelihood of downtown, so that we have things at night, different entertainment venues than your usual to come down and see.
A place like the North Shore is right now, I believe, the center of that cultural and social movement that make young people feel part of this community.
Owners say the North Shore has finally turned a corner, bringing in bigger acts and more money. They just want more time to repay the debt.
It's just like, other things that we owe, and we have every intention of paying everything to everybody, and we have been, slowly but surely.
Supporters of the North Shore just hope the DETA board understands why this theater is worth their help.
DETA board members that I've spoken to have been very supportive of the North Shore, and I hope that some kind of a compromise can be worked out.
In Duluth, Jana Katsuyama, News 6.
So understand that the drippings, the juices from a raw meat package could be contaminated. You got to clean those thoroughly. You have to wash your hands before you handle other items. And when you do make, say, hamburger patties, you have to cook them. You have to cook them thoroughly. If you cook them thoroughly, you'll kill all the E. coli.
Doing that through the fence at their house. So you need to have your dog inside. Maybe died, and maybe the family got loose from the... And was found wandering West Duluth, all muddy and grubby.
There's responsibility in caring for animals. You take them in as part of your family, and Animal Allies advocates humane treatment of animals, and just it's part of everybody's, I think, life. If you have an animal in your care and in your family, you're responsible for it.
We're walking down the street, and
a big wading pool at the museum, but no water in it. There's just water for part of your family. And Animal Allies also believes that...
Why do you suppose they have a collar on?
Dog, which means that when he spots something, he doesn't...
We always need to have our animals respond, and then it has a number in there, and we call...
people have gone out and gotten gifts and so on for Christmas, thinking that we still had 6 months or thereabouts until they were going to be laid off. But it hurts.
The snow and holiday trimmings on the East Range have lost some of their cheer as news of LTV's early shutdown caught everyone by surprise.
It's tough. It's tough. It's tough on everybody. It's tough on them. It's tough on the business people in town, but it's especially tough on the young families that have young kids.
Union President Jerry Fallis and many workers feel betrayed. He says the plant's general manager denied the early shutdown just hours before the news was released.
You know, like at 10:30 in the morning, I'd call and ask him. And he says, no, he says, I haven't heard anything. And a couple hours later, he calls me up and says, oh, by the way, we are, yeah.
LTV says tough competition from steel imports caused the early shutdown. Now the 1,100 workers are facing an uncertain future.
I mean, no time is good for closing, but middle of the winter is especially tough, you know, with everything's so high, the heating costs, and nobody's out looking for, wants to go out look for work in February. It's tough.
Many have rushed into the Office of Job Training in Aurora for help finding new work. One new person is LTV worker Stephen Thielbart. With 2 kids, he needs money, but he says no matter what happens, he will find a way for his son and daughter to finish college.
Well, I'll keep them in school because I grew up with 8 sisters and 6 brothers, so I didn't have that chance because I worked ever since I was in 4th grade. So I'm going to make sure they get that chance. Whether I got to go pick pine needles or pine cones, I don't care. That's the way it's going to be.
Like this one we've got behind us is a '91 Ford Taurus wagon. It's really nice. I can't believe they traded this thing in, but yeah, they have to be in running condition. Then they're sent to the auction and they're auctioned off, and the money from there goes to Courage Duluth.
We're just going to have to plan for the future if they decide not to stay there. My hope is that they'll be so happy with the facility that they have that that it will continue on beyond those 8 years.
We just do a rough set now, and then once we fire it up, then we'll fine tune it.
Engineer Jeff Soderlund spends a lot of his time in the boiler rooms of Superior schools. With the frigid temperatures outside, he's trying to make sure the heating system is operating at peak efficiency.
It's like tuning a car. You know, if your car's not running good, you bring it in, you get it tuned up, you get better gas mileage. Well, that's what we're trying to do here. With the prices of gas going up, we try to burn as less gas as possible for the same results.
With gas prices soaring, the Superior School District is working hard to save on heat. They do regular checks of the steam system, making sure the radiators are in top shape. And they've installed extra insulation and new windows, like these in a high school classroom. The students and teachers say it's helping.
Like the high today was like 5 below.
Oh no! But when it's so cold out, some wear extra layers to class. Chilly even when thermostats are set between 68 and 70 degrees.
Certainly get calls from schools that are concerned about the temperature in the building. And that's one of the things that makes it difficult.
As the director of Buildings and Grounds, Dave Korhonen has some tough decisions to make. State-set revenue caps prevent his budget from expanding, even though heating costs could drastically increase.
So if I spend more money on fuel, on gas and oil, then that money has to come out of other services that I provide, maintenance, supplies, snow plowing, things of that nature.
But for now, his engineers focus on improving efficiency, using computers to test the boilers and to carefully regulate the high school temperatures. All caught in a tricky balance between providing a comfortable learning environment and saving taxpayers' dollars. In Superior, Kim Kaiser, News 6.
Costs have escalated so much that we have to be really smart about how we do development and redevelopment. We have to invest in places where we already have a lot of investment in terms of physical infrastructure, roads, transportation, transit. And the project, the at-home in Duluth,
So when they're asked the same question that I'm often asked, why don't you work with small business, they'll be able to say that we, in fact, do. 260 since 1995, and that number just continues to grow on a regular basis.
I wouldn't want him back the way he was.
Betty Gordon's husband Carl died of ALS or Lou Gehrig's disease, a disease that causes muscles to slowly waste away, making even breathing difficult.
I just had to take a day at a time to try and get through it. It's hard to ask for help.
When one human being tells another human being how badly it hurts, healing takes place.
Ruth Jensen's husband died 18 years ago to prostate cancer. Now, through the Mayo Clinic's hospice program, she helps grieving families cope. She says coping with grief is easier if you try these tips.
Talk about it and change holiday traditions or make new ones. Cook different foods, go to a new worship service, or go on a trip. All good ideas that help.
We need to let people vent, and we need to let them talk, and we need to listen.
Ruth and Betty say that as we talk and listen to each other, the hurt of losing a loved one begins to fade. For Medical Edge, I'm Michelle Lee.
$20. And how many do we have left over? 3.
There aren't many weeks left over in Major Gord's teaching career.
So our total answer would be what? 23.
About 23 weeks from now, and after 33 years of teaching in Cloquet, he'll retire at the end of this year. In that time, he's probably taught an accountant or two the basics of math, just like these kids.
2, 4, 6, 8.
We have a wonderful staff, and we get along well with each other and work hard, and we have a bunch of great kids too.
Nathan Syme had Mr. Gord way back when he was a second grader. He has such fond memories of that year, he decided to tell us about the man who taught him that teachers can be fun.
He would always try to shoot the ducks off the ceiling.
Another signature part of Mr. Gord's classroom, animals. He's an avid outdoorsman, and the ducks above are tempting targets for idle hands with rubber bands.
He tells jokes and he tells us funny stories when he was little.
Like her older brother, Brianna Syme enjoys her time with Mr. Gord, and she says she's lucky to be a second grader in the classroom of a man who not only teaches, but befriends so many. And that's why at Washington Elementary, we salute Major Gord as a Golden Apple teacher.
Thank you. Well, that's really nice.
In Cloquet, Jason Rice, News 6.
And we know for a fact that there's some of those people in those crooks and crannies in between the cracks that if we don't reach out and try to help them in some way, then Christmas will be a very dismal time for some of them. And we know that there are enough resources and willing and giving people in the city of Duluth that if we would just simply reach out and find a way to help them, then everyone could have, or at least more people would have a merrier Christmas this year.